Windows security. As an administrator, I should be enforcing the policy of a company, and as an auditor, my job is to see that all the policies are enforced. So there are two types of policy. One is the local level policy, and the other one is domain level policy. Now, domain level policy is enforced for the entire organization, and local level policy is enforced for the particular user. So we can use in Windows, we can use secpol.msc to check out the local policy. Now this is a Windows XP machine, and if you see in security settings, account lockout policy, you can see there is no threshold set. Threshold is the number of incorrect login attempt after which the account should be logged out. This policy should be set so that no one uses a brute force attack on your computer or on your server. I can click on properties, and there is an explanation here on what this policy is. Account lockout threshold. This security setting determines the number of failed logon attempts that causes a user account to be locked out. So you can read this. Now by default I should not put it as 0. In such case anyone can log into my computer using a say guessing password. So I should always set it as 3, but it is difficult to set this on all the computers, all the machines in a organization. There could be a chance of 500 or 25,000 machines, 25,000 employees. I can go and set that for the employees. So what I do is I set a group policy. Now these policies comes under group policies, and I can set this for a particular group. Say for IT, I can set a different policy. For the finance department, I can set a policy. For the CEO, the whole and soul of the organization with all the power, I can reduce the policy restrictions. So if you click here, there is in password policy, you can set the minimum password length. The password should be of minimum 8 digits, and it has to have a combination of alphanumeric characters. So there is an explanation here. Now it says, see, it has given an advisory on what the password should be, like what the password limit should be. So I can set the same thing in the domain controller. I have a Windows 2008 server here, and in Windows 2008 server, the policies are set based on forest, domain, or OU, that is organizational unit. So if you see here, okay, this is the Active Directory users and computers plugin. So if I see, I need to go to features, group policy management, then there are this default domain policy. Defined domain policy is enforced for the entire organization, and there is this OU. I have an OU by the name of Institute of Information Security, IIS, and this is enforced. So I can edit. These are policies which are already set. If I see here in settings, I don't see any policies. There are no policies set. But at the default domain level policies, you can see, yeah, we have set some policies here. Minimum password age is 1 day. Minimum password length is 7 character. So if I don't put this, create a password which is minimum 7 characters, I will not be able to change the password. Now there is a user who is logging from a Windows XP machine. Let's see whether he will be able to change the password. I'll log off this user. This is a local user somebody, but there is a domain user by the same name. If you see here in the OU, there is a domain user with with the name of sambadi@is.com. So I'll be logging as this user from the Windows client and change the password. I click OK. Then I log in. This user is logging for the first time. The username is password, PASSWORD. Okay, now I need to select the domain, PASSWORD. You are required to change the password. Let's see. I am putting a password of 123. Let's see whether it takes 123. Click OK. See, there is a restriction. The password supplied does not meet the minimum complexity requirements. So I need to specify a password which is minimum 7 digits. So let me change that. SSWORD. The username or all password is incorrect. PASSWORD. Yeah, password has been changed. So this is how we enforce. How we enforce a domain policy. Now, as an administrator, I should have in-depth knowledge on how to enforce this policy, and as an auditor, I should know how to check the policies which are enforced on an Active Directory. Now I can set a policy by going here, going to the default OU, then click edit. Clicking edit will open the policy editor. Then I can select this. I can set the policy here. So in this case, I'm setting a policy. See, this is the IIS OU. Under that, I went to policies, I went to security settings, I went to account lockout policy. Then I am setting a threshold of account lockout. Now after 3 wrong attempts, the account should get locked. So if I go to XP and log off and put in the incorrect password thrice, let's see whether the account gets locked. I say options. I don't put anything. Okay, I put some. Yeah, I checked 4 times. There is no account lockout. So let's enforce this policy. Define this policy setting. Say after 3 invalid logon, lock the account. Because the value of the threshold is now 3 invalid, the setting for the following items will be changed to the suggested value. So account lockout duration will be 30 minutes. So reset account lockout counter after. See, it's like once I lock the account for 30 minutes, I will not be able to access. After 30 minutes, the account will be enabled by default. So the counter would be reset. So I tried 3 times and the account is locked out. After 30 minutes, the counter would be reset to 0. Click OK. Click OK. Now I need to enforce this policy. So I use a command by the name gp update force. So this is forcing it. This is telling the Active Directory to enforce it now. So I click on force. It's updating the policy. user policy updated, has completed successfully. So if I go to my machine, Windows XP machine, and then once, twice, thrice, 4 times, it's not getting locked. Let's restart this machine and try again. See, the policy is enforced. Let's see whether this policy is enforced here also. I click on refresh, show all. See, the policy is enforced here. In IIS domain, the policy should be enforced. So for this user, the policy should be enforced.